Welcome into Outkick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having fantastic Wednesdays, wherever you may be across this great country or this great land. We have got a lot to dive into around the coronavirus, around the stupidity at ESPN. The Blue Jays have no home. The Falcons are announcing how many people can come to their event, and we had a couple of different senators on Outkick this morning, one from Missouri, Senator Hawley, and one from Pennsylvania, Senator Pat Toomey. I encourage you guys to go listen to the podcast if you haven't already for the smartest anywhere you can find sports media discussion. All right, let's start with the coronavirus. Bunch of different things I want to dive into here. First of all, not getting any attention. The CDC officially released their findings in the Journal of American Medicine, JAMA, as I'm told it's called. The CDC says the coronavirus, and this has been hinted at before, but this is wild, that there have been 6 to 24 times as many cases as we have actually uncovered. Should be a record scratch moment. Should be a massive story. It's almost getting no attention at all. Let me repeat what the CDC said today in a newly published study. CDC says the coronavirus is 6 times as common. All right, are you ready for this? 6 times as common, 24 times as common potentially as the number of confirmed cases. I'm not great at math. But those numbers would suggest that given right now there are 4 million confirmed cases in the United States, this would mean there are actually or have actually been 24 million cases up to all the way 96 million cases. All right? That in and of itself is pretty unbelievable in the large grand scheme of things. All right? We are talking about massive numbers, far more common than anyone would have actually thought. 6 to 24,000, as many as you can actually count. All right? Got the gun out this morning, this afternoon, happening to look over at the comments, and I've already had to wipe a couple of men out. All right? If I decide to actually look over and I happen to see you, I've said it before, you might survive. You might survive for a short period of time. You might even make it for an entire show. But man, right off the top here, I had to end 2 different people. That's what Clay Kyle does. If I actually happen to look over and see that you guys are actually too dumb to be allowed to comment in the sections, all right? So you got to be careful. You got to be ready. You never know when you might be done forever. Corona Bros do not have a long life cycle in the Outkick universe. All right? This is crazy, though. 24 million all the way up to 96 million. Why does that matter? It means the death rate from the coronavirus when it comes to infections is actually flu-like. Let me repeat that. It is flu-like. After all this time, after all these shutdowns, after all this ridiculousness, it is actually flu-like in terms of its overall virulence, according to the CDC. A severe flu on the low end of estimates in terms of six times. If it goes 24x, it could be less deadly than the actual flu. All right? All of this is a serious shot across the bow at the Corona Bros. Here's another one. Read it at Outkick, by the way. Go read about this at Outkick. If you go read what is wild, Sweden did nothing. Sweden made the decision, basically, we aren't going to in any way try and protect our country from the coronavirus. Do you know what happened on a per capita basis? Sweden had 1/3, less than 1/3 of the death rate of New York. It remains the number one story in America associated with the coronavirus, all of the disastrous decisions that were made by Andrew Cuomo. This guy did everything wrong. I want you to think about this for a minute. Sweden did nothing, and they had around 30% of the death rate of New York. New York over tripled Sweden. Even though Sweden didn't do anything at all, you need to go read this article that I posted at Outkick and look at it, because it's utterly fascinating to consider this hypothesis. There is a strong hypothesis that what New York did was the worst decision every single step of the road. You can make an argument that New York was peaking and the worst was already past in terms of infections, and then New York shut down right at the peak and sent everybody back into their houses, which allowed the virus to spread, because we know the best way this virus spreads is inside of homes. And I think if you go back and look, New York overreacted in an effort to try to placate all of the fear porn purveyors. And as a result, their death rate skyrocketed. Now, we know the decision to put patients back into nursing homes was an unbelievable disaster. But all of the data, as you start to look at it from reliable countries, there's nobody that was as bad as New York or New Jersey. Not any country in the entire world had the death rate of New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut. It's unbelievable when you actually look at the data. There's no defense at all. The idea that the media is saying that Andrew Cuomo did a good job, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. There's absolutely no way whatsoever to defend this. New York, if anything, there should be congressional inquiries into what happened in New York and how the death rate ended up being what it was. Cuomo made the wrong decision on every single issue. And yet, people don't look at the data, and even worse, people are like, oh, he did an incredible job. This is like naming the MVP of your league the guy who was the last man on the bench. Heck, it's like naming an MVP of a league who was a practice squad player. Andrew Cuomo was to the NFL what a practice squad player is to the NFL, except the media has named him the MVP. It doesn't make any sense at all. This is utterly ridiculous. Also, Corona Bros are upset. Corona Bros are upset out there. New York had a 2-week low in terms of percentage positive. Florida had a 2-week low in terms of percentage positive today, and it appears the New York cases have peaked. Same thing is happening in Arizona. Same thing is happening in Texas, without anywhere near the death rate. Florida and Texas right now have around 1/10 the death rate of New York. The media was trying to sell you on this idea as cases went up. Oh my God, we're going to have a bunch of different versions of New York. No, because nobody else is as dumb as Andrew Cuomo has been when it comes to responding to this virus. We're about to have as many cases in California, in Texas, and in Florida, the other three most populous cases as states, as New York did, and their death rate is a fraction of what happened in New York. This should be the #1 overall story in America. Instead, the media continues to ignore it. Makes absolutely no sense. And the reason why they're going after Florida so aggressively, and the reason why they are going after Texas so aggressively, is because they actually have Republican governors. That's it. That's all. It's totally not honest. And the worst thing is, you can look up the data for yourself. The facts aren't lying. They're sitting right there looking at you. There's no way to defend this. This isn't partisanship. This isn't some sort of spin cycle. This isn't some sort of opinion piece. This is the actual data. Just look at the data and you can learn from what exactly you have seen from the coronavirus. A couple of other things. Sage Steele. Sage Steele this is amazing, I think. Sage Steele finally came out and said what many people have been saying about ESPN for a long time, that they have so much embraced far left-wing politics that there is no ability for someone like Sage Steele to have her voice heard. This is incredible, all right? She said, per the Wall Street Journal, something that I think is pretty impressive. She said that she was taken out of the overall ability to talk in their social justice warrior special, which, by the way, just so you know, the lowest possible rating in 25 years of ESPN primetime programming. This is pretty awesome. Sage Steele said, when she was pulled off of the SJW special because she wasn't woke enough, all right? She said, and I follow. Hold on, we got a request that I block a man, and I will block a man. You know what I need, honestly, is I need a deputy who's in charge of just going through and being able to actually break everything. Boom. That man is dead. All right, so Sage Steele said as follows, all right, you ready? I found it sad for all of us that any human being should be allowed to define someone's blackness. Growing up biracial in America with a black father and a white mother, I have felt the inequities that many, if not all, black and biracial people have felt, being called a monkey, the N-word, having ape sounds made as I walked by, words and actions that all of us know sting forever. Most importantly, trying to define who is and isn't black enough goes against everything we are fighting for in this country and only creates more of a divide. Sage Steele has also been very aggressive in criticizing Deshaun Jackson and asking why we have allowed athletes to be held to a different standard based on who they're actually speaking out about. So this is pretty incredible. Sage Steele has gone public and told you everything that I've been saying about ESPN, about Woke Center, about ESPN treating different opinions differently based on what those opinions are from a political perspective, and she blew them up. That, by the way, is from the Wall Street Journal. I applaud Sage Steele for being willing to go public. I encourage you to go read Jason Whitlock's fascinating piece about her and about the why this story evolves as it does up on Outkick. And by the way, I encourage all of you to go sign up for Outkick VIP. This is the last week that you're going to be able to get an autographed copy of my book. And if you've already signed up for Outkick VIP, I haven't been able to keep up with all of the demand. We've been signing up thousands of people for Outkick VIP. And as a result, we're way behind. I don't even know that there are thousands of copies of my book still in existence. So we're having to go get all those books right now. All right. So as you actually break down everything that Sage Steele said, I think she was 100% right. You can go read it for yourself at Outkick. You can go read Jason Whitlock's reaction to it. This is pretty outstanding in general. And I encourage you to go spend the time to check and see everything that Sage Steele said. And by the way, I love sniping people. I'm on a record roll here right now. I don't know how many people think that they can try Clay Kyle and they're actually going to survive. Again, if I happen to take a chance to look down and I think, my God, why in the world is this person allowed to comment on my show when they're clearly not smart enough to even be able and actually keep any kind of semblance of a normalcy going there? I just reach down, wipe them out. They're never to be seen from again. But props to Sage Steele for what she said in general. Okay, Falcons. Good news from the NFL. The Falcons joined the Green Bay Packers. The Falcons announced today that they are planning on having 10 to 20,000 fans in attendance this fall. 10 to 20,000. Now, a lot of you out there are going to be like, hey, that's basically a Falcons fan in general, which is why it was funny a while back when Rutgers said, hey, only 500 fans are going to be allowed. And everybody immediately said, yeah, good luck. We only have 500 fans showing up for Rutgers games anyway. But the Falcons announcing that attendance will be somewhere around 10 or 20,000 per game. And so that's a good sign, again, because we've got pro sports happening. Now we've got pro sports happening with fans present. And also we've got high school sports all deciding that they are going to play. All of this is going to be working towards all sports being back, right? Tomorrow baseball comes back. Everybody is going to be back roaring and ready to go. If you haven't already listened to this morning's Outkick Show. We had on 2 United States senators, Senator Hawley from Missouri and Senator Toomey from Pennsylvania. Both of them were outstanding, and this is just a further evidence of the growth of Outkick. We, in general, now are getting a really high caliber of guest that is reaching out to us regularly, and we're getting on the show. And that is because we have the biggest sports radio show in the morning, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern, which is one of the most listened to typical periods of the day on radio. We have the biggest sports talk radio audience in the morning in the entire country. And people recognize it now. They are rolling through. We got millions of people listening every single week to the Outkick Show. Our growth rate is off the charts. We are growing exponentially, which is going to drive all the Corona bros crazy. And so this is all, I believe, working in our direction. All of it is fantastic. And I hope that if you are new to the show, you're going to continue to spread the word as you become aware of it. If you're an old veteran of the Outkick family, thank you for helping to spread the word to your friends and family so that we can be exploding in growth rate like we are right now. Finally, Pittsburgh said no to the Blue Jays. The state of Pennsylvania has disallowed the Toronto Blue Jays from playing in Pittsburgh, so the Blue Jays have no home right now. I would think there are a ton of different locations that would love to host the Blue Jays, especially places that don't necessarily have home teams right now. I'm curious where the next option will be. As a resident of Nashville, Tennessee, I will extend the red carpet to the Toronto Blue Jays and suggest that they should come play in Nashville. I understand that a lot of you are from the Buffalo area, and that's very close to Toronto, and you would like to have them there. I would think that there will be a lot of options. Somebody just said we need a channel on Sirius. We are on Sirius already. My radio show is on Sirius XM channel 83, the main Fox Sports channel. You can hear us every morning. If you don't have an affiliate in your town, get in your car, pop us on channel 83. You can hear us every single morning, and we will be ready to go. All right. I appreciate all of you. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. I'll even do this. We haven't done this in a while. Any questions that I haven't answered today that you want me to respond to really rapidly here, I will look in the comments on both Facebook and also on Twitter, and I will respond rapidly to 3 questions that I haven't actually seen so far. Okay? Somebody just said, imagine being a Whitlock fan. If you're so dumb that you are not a Whitlock fan, guess what? You don't get to comment in my show. You are gone forever. So you are dead to me. Clay Kyle takes another man. Somebody said, what do I think about NFL attendance? I think it's going to be determined by the state. I think that probably 10 to 20,000 is going to be standard for many parts. And so I would guess that's probably going to be the standard right now if I had to guess. Thank you, Ian. I'm glad on Facebook that I'm the most informative part of your day. Outkick cruise. I don't like cruises. So people are like, hey, would you get on a cruise ship again with everything that's been going on with the coronavirus? No. I mean, I wouldn't get on a cruise ship just because I don't want to go on a cruise. I am anti-cruise in general. I went on the Disney family cruise, and I understand that some people love them and that they're a lot of fun and everybody actually wants to be out there on them. But the truth of the matter is I don't like being stuck on a boat. I am a land person. And so I didn't like going on cruises before the coronavirus existed. Being stuck on a boat with somebody who's sick and not being able to get off is honestly my nightmare. I get a little bit claustrophobic on a boat. So no, I have zero interest in actually going on a cruise. Now that I've said that, by the way, some cruise company is going to be like, because they could do radio shows from the cruise, some cruise company is going to be like, we'll give you gobs of money to come on our cruise ship and do your radio show from the cruise. And you know what's going to end up happening? If you pay me enough money and it's legal, I'll end up doing it. So now that I've said I'll never do it, hopefully I've at least driven up my cost where they're going to have to pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars for me to be willing to actually be on this setup. I don't even know. Sometimes the people that they come and they talk trash about, like in the comments, I don't even know who those people are. This is one of the funniest things. People are like, oh, this dude dominates you. It's like, I don't even know who that is. Like, good luck for you. I guess that you're such a loser that you're coming on and commenting. But like, if I happen to look down, I don't even know who some of these people are. It's really kind of embarrassing, I think. All right. I appreciate all of you. My name is Clay Travis. I feel bad for Kanye. It looks like Kanye is in the midst of some sort of mental health issue. Honestly, I don't spend a lot of time paying attention to celebrities and their opinions on politics because most of them don't have very much depth to their opinion in general. And so I just feel bad about Kanye. I feel like he's got issues and they need to get resolved. And I hope that they have an issue getting that resolved with him. I just think it's sad. All right. I love all of you. My name is Clay Travis. DBAP unless you need to. SBAP. Kisses. I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me. Share the show. Loaded program tomorrow as well on the radio and also on Outkick. Lock it in. We'll be back sooner rather than later. I think we're going to have an announcement about that in the near future. So your boy will be back on television every day as well. All right. Love all of you. Kisses. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Thank you. See you guys.